Yeah, it's annoying that this has not got any audio. Basically, I was thinking that what we could do with these is that we could create a paper form that asks people for their quote, for the word count, for the headshots, but we could also ask them for their, for example, um, favorite cold email tool and why, their favorite SEO tool and why, their top 10 favorite their tool stack, like what are your top 5 tools that you use and why do you love them. So we could ask them some additional questions, the people that have already contributed, that's got a plus DA25, because we could reuse that for future actual quotes. And we could also, in line with what Databox do, start preparing lots of different forms based around current campaigns and questions that we've got, and we could build that all in paper form, which is what I think I talk about here. Let me know if that makes sense. So let's start thinking about some standard questions we could ask everybody that we talk to, as well as then we could repurpose the form for later questions. Let me know if that makes sense. And then we could also, I don't know if it was mentioned, ask all of these guys, hey, here's a form with the same questions, and there's an additional form that we're collecting. Have you got any friends who you think would like to be considered in our next one? And then they'll introduce us to maybe 2 or 3 people. Or in the same form, we can add, are there 3 other business owners, or are there 3 other entrepreneurs, business owners, marketers that you'd recommend that we could invite to potentially feature on our guest post, something like that. Let me know if that makes sense. So the challenge is put together an initial paper form with all of the questions that we think would be reusable for later, as well as the invite question. And from that, we'll start to separate out further paper forms to scale this based upon the people we get from helper reports around. They could each introduce us to 3 people. So we can say, could you insert 3 emails of 3 business owners that you think would be ideal? And then each of them gives us 3 people, and we 3x'd our range.